We are counting down the 12 pickup trucks most likely to leave you stranded and regretting your investment in 2026. Using Consumer Reports scores, NHTSA complaints, and owners' real-world disasters, this list reveals which popular trucks go from repair shop headaches to full-blown safety risks. From shocking engine failures and catastrophic electronics to software glitches that can brick a $90,000 ride, these pickups earned their spot through relentless, documented reliability issues. Which truck claims the worst reputation of all? Let's start the countdown with number 12. America's best-selling pickup isn't immune to trouble, especially when it comes to the Ford F-150 PowerBoost hybrid. Consumer Reports has repeatedly ranked the hybrid F-150 among the least reliable trucks on the road, with persistent complaints about complex electronics and the 10-speed 10R80 automatic transmission. Owners describe sudden shutdowns at highway speed, dashboard warnings that read "Stop safely now," and a total loss of propulsion. One 2024 PowerBoost owner reported a complete transmission malfunction at just 4,900 miles, leaving a nearly new truck stranded for weeks while parts were on backorder. Ford's much-publicized fix for the 10R80 CDF drum has not stopped failures in recent models. Electronic gateway modules and gear shift systems are also failing, sometimes trapping trucks in park. The problem became serious enough to trigger technical bulletins and dealer interventions. For buyers, the promise of hybrid efficiency comes with the risk of being left without a working vehicle, even before the first oil change. Ram heavy-duty 2,500 and 3,500 pickups, equipped with the 6.7-liter Cummins diesel, have become a source of anxiety for owners who rely on them for serious work. Reports filed with NHTSA describe trucks towing trailers at highway speeds when the engine suddenly stalls, with no warning and no restart. The culprit is often the Bosch CP4 high-pressure fuel pump, a part so failure-prone that Stellantis issued Recall 21V880 for 2019 and 2020 models. When the pump fails, it sends metal debris through the entire fuel system, leaving owners with repair bills that can climb into 5 figures and trucks sidelined for weeks while parts are on backorder. Transmission dipstick tube defects have caused fluid to leak onto hot engine surfaces, resulting in documented engine bay fires. Some drivers have had to abandon their trucks as flames spread under the hood. On top of this, electrical chaos from the power module known as TIPM can trigger random stalls, lighting failures, and windows that refuse to work, all in a single drive. For anyone depending on a Ram heavy-duty for towing or heavy hauling, these sudden stalls and fire hazards turn a trusted workhorse into a gamble. Toyota's reputation for bulletproof reliability took a hit with the latest Tundra iForce twin-turbo V6. Owners began reporting strange knocking sounds and sudden low oil pressure warnings, sometimes before the odometer hit 20,000 miles. Dealer inspections uncovered metal shavings in the oil, evidence that machining debris had been left inside the engine block during production. This contamination starved the main bearings of lubrication, leading to catastrophic bearing failures and, in many cases, complete engine seizure. Toyota responded by issuing recalls for the affected vehicle identification number ranges, but the only remedy was a full engine replacement. No in-frame repair could guarantee debris removal. Some owners found themselves on the hook for weeks while waiting for replacement engines to arrive, even as their trucks sat immobilized at the dealership. For buyers who trusted Toyota's legendary durability, the reality of a brand-new Tundra needing a total engine swap shattered expectations and raised questions about quality control on what should have been a flagship powertrain. The GMC Sierra 1500, equipped with the 6.2-liter V8, has landed under federal investigation after more than 1,000 complaints to regulators about a surge of engine failures. The trucks built from 2021 to 2024 share a troubling pattern: sudden loss of power, internal bearing damage, and lifter collapse that can leave owners stranded without warning. In many cases, owners report misfires or ticking noises that quickly escalate to catastrophic engine failure, sometimes before the first scheduled service. Technical bulletins and legal filings describe crankshafts and connecting rods that were improperly machined, with debris or oiling issues leading to bearing wipeout. General Motors' dynamic fuel management lifters, designed to improve efficiency, have become a repeat offender, collapsing and destroying camshafts and often requiring complete engine replacements. Some owners have faced the same lifter failure 2 or 3 times on a single truck. The company has switched to 0W40 oil and issued a series of service bulletins, but those measures do not address the underlying assembly and component defects. As engine replacements stack up, parts shortages have left trucks sidelined for weeks, fueling frustration and class action lawsuits. The scale of the problem has overwhelmed dealers and left buyers questioning the reliability of General Motors' flagship 5.8. Chevrolet Silverado owners expecting a different fate from their GMC Sierra counterparts have found themselves caught in the same reliability crisis, right down to the last bolt. The Silverado 1500, especially with the 6.2-liter V8, shares its entire powertrain and electronic architecture with the Sierra, doubling the number of trucks affected by General Motors' flawed engineering and manufacturing runs. Parts shortages have become routine as lifter and camshaft failures send both nameplates into dealer queues that stretch for weeks. Owners report repeated lifter repairs, only to be told that the replacement parts are identical to the ones that just failed. The backlog for replacement engines and critical valve train components has left many Silverados immobilized, with some trucks waiting months for repairs. Technical bulletins and service advisories offer little comfort, as the root causes, improper machining, oil passage contamination, and lifter collapse remain unresolved. The only real difference between the Silverado and the Sierra is the badge on the grille, but the impact on resale value and owner confidence is felt across the entire General Motors full-size truck market. For buyers, the promise of a dependable workhorse is undermined by a platform that magnifies every defect, turning a popular choice into a costly gamble. Hyundai's Santa Cruz arrived, promising to blend SUV comfort and pickup utility, but the reality has been far less reassuring for owners. The core problem centers on the 2.5-liter turbo model's 8-speed wet dual-clutch transmission. In 2022, Hyundai issued a recall after the transmission oil pump was found to fail unexpectedly, instantly stripping the truck of all drive power, sometimes at highway speed. Owners report a sudden warning that reads, "Stop safely immediately," followed by a total loss of acceleration and forced emergency stops in traffic. The recall covered only certain 2022 vehicle identification numbers, yet complaints about identical failures kept appearing on forums and in NHTSA filings from 2023 models that used the same hardware. Hyundai's decision to exclude those later builds left many owners in limbo, denied recall repairs despite suffering the same catastrophic breakdowns. Some drivers have had their transmissions replaced twice under warranty before reaching 20,000 miles, with dealers often unable to reproduce the problem until the truck was undrivable. For a vehicle marketed as an adventure-ready lifestyle truck, the risk of a sudden, irrecoverable loss of drive makes the Santa Cruz a gamble few buyers can afford to take. Jeep Gladiator owners have faced a double threat, a combination of mechanical failure and serious safety risk. The heart of the problem lies in the 3.6-liter Pentastar V6, where a persistent lifter tick signals trouble deep inside the engine. Failed rocker arms and lifters shed metal into the oil, grinding down camshafts and leaving trucks sounding like diesels long before catastrophic failure. Many owners have endured repeated repairs, only to receive the same flawed parts. This pattern has fueled class action lawsuits and forced Jeep to extend powertrain coverage for affected models. But the problems do not end under the hood. Gladiator drivers have also battled the infamous death wobble, a violent front-end shake that can erupt above 40 miles per hour after hitting a bump. Some drivers report having to slow to a crawl or stop completely just to regain control. As part of a legal settlement, Jeep now offers an 8-year or 90,000-mile warranty on front suspension and steering components, including free replacement of steering dampers. Yet premature steering stabilizer and ball joint wear continue to plague owners, sometimes before reaching 100,000 miles. To make matters worse, the dual battery system designed for modern stop-start features has introduced its own headaches. Auxiliary battery drain and early battery failure have left many Gladiators stranded, with both batteries needing replacement in as little as 25,000 miles. For buyers, these overlapping engine and chassis hazards turn the Gladiator from an off-road icon into a gamble, where fun can quickly give way to frustration and unexpected repair bills. Tesla's Cybertruck arrived with the promise of revolutionizing the pickup market, but the reality has left early adopters in uncharted territory. In 2024, Tesla issued a recall after reports that the accelerator pedal pad could slip and become lodged, trapping the pedal at full throttle. The risk of unintended acceleration forced the company to retrofit or replace pedal assemblies on thousands of trucks, with National Highway Traffic Safety Administration documentation confirming the defect. The Cybertruck's cutting-edge steer-by-wire and brake-by-wire systems, which replace mechanical linkages with full electronic control, have sparked concern among safety advocates and owners alike. No formal recall has yet targeted those systems, but owners have reported intermittent warnings, sudden loss of steering assist, and software resets that can leave the truck momentarily unresponsive. The software backbone that runs steering, braking, and drive power has also proven vulnerable. Some owners have found their trucks bricked after over-the-air updates, unable to start, drive, or even open the doors, and sometimes requiring a tow to the service center for a full module replacement. Drone footage and owner reports have documented thousands of Cybertrucks sitting unsold in storage lots, many awaiting repairs or updates. Early buyers expecting a finished product have instead found themselves acting as real-world testers for experimental technology, facing risks that extend well beyond the typical growing pains of a new truck. GMC's Canyon, the mid-size sibling to the full-size Sierra, has earned the lowest possible predicted reliability score from Consumer Reports, just 1 out of 5. That rating reflects a troubling pattern of safety-critical electronic failures, the most alarming of which is the truck's automatic emergency braking system. Owners have filed NHTSA complaints describing sudden, forceful stops on the highway, triggered by the truck's sensors when there is no obstacle. Drivers describe the sensation as if the truck hit a brick wall, jolting to a stop with no warning and no time to react. These incidents are not isolated. The underlying cause appears to be a software-driven overreaction in the automatic emergency braking, a feature intended to prevent crashes but now creating new hazards. Beyond the phantom braking, the Canyon's wiring harness design has introduced an additional layer of risk. Technical service bulletins document how engine wiring can chafe against hot or moving components, wearing through insulation and causing electrical shorts. The result is random stalls, no-start situations, and erratic engine behavior that can leave drivers stranded. Some owners have reported trucks that refuse to start after a routine drive, only to discover that a chafed wire shorted out a critical sensor or module. These design flaws, paired with a driver assist system that can bring the truck to a halt without cause, have turned the Canyon into a source of anxiety rather than confidence for many buyers. With a reliability record this poor and safety systems prone to unpredictable failure, the Canyon stands as a warning about the dangers of unproven technology in vehicles meant for everyday use. Chevrolet Colorado's troubles go beyond its twin, the GMC Canyon. A recall meant to solve a dangerous problem ended up creating new headaches. In early 2024, General Motors issued a recall for 57,000 Colorados built with an automatic emergency braking system that could slam on the brakes without warning, even at highway speeds. The recall fix was supposed to restore confidence, but owners soon discovered the software update made the system hypersensitive. Instead of hard stops, drivers now contend with constant false alerts, chimes, and dashboard warnings that trigger even when the road ahead is clear. These distractions add stress, and they erode trust in the truck's safety features. The problems do not stop at the brakes. The Colorado's 2.7-liter turbo engine, standard on most trims, has drawn complaints of carbon buildup inside the intake and on the valves. Some owners report rough idle, misfires, and loss of power before reaching 30,000 miles. Dealerships often perform decarbonization services or even replace cylinder heads under warranty, but the underlying design leaves drivers wondering when the next warning light will appear. Meanwhile, the infotainment system adds another layer of frustration. Screens freezing or going dark mid-drive sometimes disable backup cameras and navigation, leaving owners stranded, unable to restart the truck or access basic controls. For buyers, the Colorado's mix of unresolved safety fixes, engine concerns, and electronic failures turns a mid-size pickup into an unpredictable gamble. Number 2. The Rivian R1T. Rivian entered the electric pickup market promising a revolution, but the reality for R1T owners has been far less reassuring. Consumer Reports gives Rivian a reliability score of just 14 out of 100, placing the brand near the bottom of its rankings. For buyers spending upwards of $90,000, the expectation is bulletproof performance and seamless technology. Instead, some owners have found themselves locked out of their trucks after a routine over-the-air update. One common scenario: the R1T charges overnight, downloads the latest software, and by morning nothing works. No screens, no door unlock, no way to start the vehicle. Attempts to reset or contact support often end with the truck being towed, sometimes hundreds of miles, to the nearest Rivian service center for a module replacement or a manual firmware reflash. Electrical issues do not stop at software. At least one owner documented smoke entering the cabin from beneath the center console, traced to a wiring harness failure. Owner forums and NHTSA complaints outline a pattern of immobilized trucks, electronic glitches, and support chats that drag on for days. For a vehicle marketed as an adventure tool, the risk of being stranded by a software bug or a failed wire is hard to ignore. Build quality concerns only add to the unease. Owners frequently report misaligned body panels, wind noise, leaky seals, and tailgates that refuse to close. For a truck at this price point, these issues are more than cosmetic. They are evidence that the R1T is still in a beta phase, with paying customers serving as real-world testers. The promise of cutting-edge technology meets the reality of unfinished software and unpredictable reliability, leaving early adopters with a truck that can go from cutting-edge to bricked overnight. Ram's Hurricane Twin Turbo Inline-6 was supposed to be a game-changer, but early adopters are discovering just how much risk comes with a first-generation powertrain. Owners of 2025 and 2026 Ram 1500s have reported a pattern of electrical chaos that goes far beyond the usual teething problems. Trucks that start the morning with a full battery can be dead by sundown, with no warning and no reliable fix. Parasitic battery drain is leaving new $70,000 pickups stranded in driveways and parking lots, sometimes refusing to jump start or even respond to the key. Once the truck does wake up, there is no guarantee it will stay running. Multiple owners describe sudden limp mode events at highway speed. One moment full power, the next a dashboard lit up with error codes and the engine barely able to crawl to the shoulder. These limp mode incidents are often triggered by sensor faults, random module failures, or a cascade of warning messages that even dealer technicians struggle to diagnose. Some have had their trucks in the shop for weeks, as technicians swap out one module after another, chasing electrical ghosts with no permanent solution. The Hurricane's emission system brings its own headaches. In several documented cases, catalytic converters have overheated or failed outright, especially in high-output trims. Owners have reported rough running, repeated check engine lights, and in some cases, full catalytic converter replacements before the first oil change. While the ZF 8-speed transmission paired to the Hurricane is solid in theory, its reliability is undermined by the electronics that control it. When a critical module glitches, the transmission can refuse to shift or default to limp mode, regardless of its mechanical health. For buyers, the Hurricane's promise of power and efficiency is overshadowed by a barrage of unresolved electronic failures. The engine itself may be new, but it is the surrounding network of sensors, modules, and software that is turning these trucks into high-priced gambles. Early owners are finding themselves caught in a cycle of battery deaths, power loss events, and endless module replacements, a warning that even the most advanced hardware is only as reliable as the electronics running the show. Across all 12 entries, one pattern stands out. Even the most trusted badges can hide catastrophic flaws when technology outpaces quality control. In 2026, price tags and reputations offer no shield from breakdowns that leave owners stranded. For truck buyers, reliability is no longer guaranteed. It is a gamble. The real risk is assuming that a familiar name means peace of mind. Let me know which entry shocked you most in the comments.